Hey everybody, it's Scotty from Scotty's Record Shop with volume number 3, edition number 3, whatever you want to call it, of June 2013 vinyl finds. And I promise you this will be the last one for a little while anyway. Why? Because I've run out of money. I have no more money. No. Anyway, I wanted to start this video off with something that came in the mail today. As I'd said in the past, one of my past videos here, I won 4th prize in Beninsky 707's contest, big 10-inch contest. And it's funny because it was, I realized that I won it, found out that I won it on my birthday. I told you that story I think in my first video. I made that first video this morning and have since checked my mail, and it came in, Mark. So I guess the first thing that I have to show is what I won, and it was the one thing, like I said, that I wanted most out of all of the prizes that you had. It was so cool. It worked out so cool. Paul McCartney live in Red Square. I have a lot of McCartney. I'm not in a joke about it. I've got a lot of stuff from McCartney. This is one thing I just didn't have, and it's so awesome, and it's sealed, man. It's brand new. I mean, it couldn't be any better than that. So again, thank you so much, Mark. It did get here. It did make it over the border just fine. And it is so appreciated. So thank you so much. Okay, let's get through the rest of these finds. Can't wait to check that McCartney out. It's going to be so good. Okay. Some Molly Hatchet. Love the artwork on these. Their first record, I didn't have this on vinyl. Great Southern rock, mid to late 70s, not 90s. This was 78. Original pressing, very nice. In great condition too, so we'll take it. Then we get Flirting with Disaster. This one, I had a copy of it, but my copy, the jacket wasn't in great shape. And I paid $1 for the record, and it was like, I knew that I would eventually get an upgrade copy. This is an upgrade, and the jacket and the record is great, or are great. Do proper grammar, shouldn't I? Shan't I? And they're great, and it was for $1. And then No Guts, No Glory. Not my favorite, but you're getting into the middle 80s with them now. I wouldn't mind if I saw more like the live album and stuff. Danny Joe Brown's solo record. If I saw those for $1, I would pick them up. And eventually they probably will show up, so I'm not, take my time. Let's change from good old classic Southern rock and roll to folk. Why not? Peter, Paul and Mary and In the Wind. This is a really nice record. This is like their 3rd or 4th record, I believe. It's an early Peter, Paul and Mary record. It's in good shape. The wife and I listened to it already because she's a big Peter, Paul and Mary fan. And it's good. Atypical Peter, Paul and Mary, so it works for us. This is an upgrade copy. I kind of bought this for my wife's sake too, because the copy that we had is old. I'm making all kinds of excuses why I spent $1 on this record, but honestly, it's whatever. John Denver's Greatest Hits, Volume 1. I'm not going to say much about John Denver. There's probably 13 or 14 John Denver albums out back there behind me, so whatever. So much for my credibility in the VC, huh? Oh well. A record that I've never owned, and I saw it for $1 and I thought, the heck with it, Mid 80s, Tina Turner, I guess her comeback album, you could call it anyway. Great record from Tina. Oops, the old box is getting ready to tip here. White Trash, their first record. I believe this came out before Roadworks. This was the first record. I haven't listened. I know the record, and it looks like it's in good shape overall. I haven't listened to it yet, this copy, but good record. Come on, it's early Edgar Winter. And like I said in the first video I made, Vinyl Finds for this month, early Edgar Winter, early Johnny Winter, you really can't go wrong with that stuff. Speaking of early records, I paid $1 for this. And before you like all go, oh my God, $1 for an original pressing of Elvis's first album, it's got some issues. Okay, it skips a couple of times. It's worn. But I'll tell you one thing. This has got me totally in the mood or re-energized for early Elvis. I love this record. An excellent early rock and roll record. It just is just, what can I say? I'm gonna find. I don't care if it's a later pressing of it, honestly, but just great. So I'm on the hunt for some Elvis. Oh. Who fans may recognize this. What does Andy Pratt have to do with the Who? Well, Roger Daltrey on one of his solo records in the mid-'70s did a song called Avenging Annie. Some of you really good, die-hard Who fans may know that. Well, Avenging Annie came from this album and from this man, Andy Pratt. And this is a really good record. He's a New Englander. Actually, he's from Boston. Somebody told me once that Pratt, as in Pratt and Whitney, but I don't know for sure. Does he look like a little rich kid? I have no idea. Great record though, Andy Pratt. Commodores, a mid-'80s compilation. They have a best of or greatest hits that came out in 1978, but this is a more thorough. This has the stuff from 79 and 81 and In the Pocket, those albums. So this is probably, if you're looking for like a compilation of Commodore stuff, this is your best one. It's got Brick House. It's got some of the early funk stuff, but I picked it up. It was $1. I didn't have this. I had it on CD, but I didn't have it on vinyl. And I've got all the other Commodores albums for the most part. I'm missing the first 3, Machine Gun, and the 2 that came out after that. Everything from 76 on I have. So I'm on the hunt for those, and I am going to have to probably pay $4 or $5 a piece for those. I know it, but they're worth it. Early, great funk stuff. I'm looking to get more by these guys too. This is kind of a blind buy. I mean, not blind buy because I know who it is, but I know that this is going to be cheesy. But late '70s, early '80s Dr. Hook. So, but these albums are a dime a dozen. They're easy to get. I like, I've got Sloppy Seconds from The Medicine Show. And that's a really, Freaker's Ball, that's a strange record. I love it, but I wouldn't mind getting more Dr. Hook, short version, okay? Great record right here. UFO and Lights Out. Of course, having the single, or not the single, but the song everybody knows, Lights Out, probably. Great song, but they also do a great version of the song Alone Or, which was a song originally done by the group Love from '67. From Forever Changes was the album. Great song, and they kind of rock it up a little bit, and just, it's a great album all the way through. I really like UFO. So, and I was missing this, so not anymore. Finishing off my Linda Ronstadt collection. If you could see, this is hard to tell because of the gloss on the. You can maybe, it's hard to do this. See, her dress actually is like a metallic pink, pinkish reddish. I know it's not coming out the way that it looks to me, but her last pop record, Get Closer, and then her second album that she did with Nelson Riddle Orchestra, Lavish Life, which is, long before Rod Stewart and all these other clowns were doing standards and stuff, Linda Ronstadt was doing them and doing it really well. What's New is a wonderful record. This is a really good record too if you appreciate that kind of music, which I do. Big band standards. And that's pretty much it. I don't have the original Stone Ponies records. I've got some comps, but maybe one day I'll get along and I'll get around to showing you my Linda Ronstadt collection, because I got, probably 15, 20 albums by her or something. 15. Anytime I see anything from this guy, I don't care if it's unplayable. I'll pick it up. I'm a sucker for Ray Charles. And I don't have a lot. It seems like every time I pick up something by him, I get all excited and I get it home and it's trashed. This one is one of those, it could go either way. I'll let you know maybe. But I love Ray Charles. Got a chance to see him 6 months before he died in Portland, Maine, and it was just such a wonderful, wonderful show. Maybe a little more than 6 months before he died. But Simon and Garfunkel, I have a copy of this. I've had it since childhood, and it was trashed. It's not my favorite album by them. I'm not into the way that they go from live track to studio track. Even though the live tracks on this were previously unreleased, it just doesn't flow well for me. I don't know why. I never liked it too much, but I wanted it because, you know, it is what it is. So that pretty much finishes up my Simon and Garfunkel collection as well. Love Simon and Garfunkel. Okay, trying to move through fairly quickly here. Every time I see something by this guy, I pick it up too. Frank Sinatra. The year I was born, 1966. As a matter of fact, Strangers in the Night was in the top 5. Billboard top 5 on the week that I was born. Just some interesting facts. And this album was riding high on the charts, as a matter of fact. It's original stereo pressing, the original reprise with his picture on it. It's really kind of cool. I'm not going to take it out. I don't have time, but in great shape too. I paid $1 for it. It doesn't happen like that usually. I have a handful of other Sinatra albums that are in questionable shape, playable, but I'd like upgrades. I love Frank Sinatra, man. One of these days I'm going to hit the mother load with that. One of these not YouTube, but eBay lots. You know, bid 20 Frank Sinatra albums, and I'll get them, and they'll be all in great shape. I'm dreaming, but Charlie Daniels Band, atypical Charlie Daniels from the mid '70s, you know. But I like atypical Charlie Daniels bands from the mid '70s. So there you go. Yeah. Speaking of atypical, Leo Sayer. This is one of the only albums by him that I was missing from his first record, 73-ish, up through 81-ish, 82-ish. That's about when I stopped caring. But this is, atypical Leo Sayer. Mid-70s, disco, pop. But I enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe I need therapy. I don't know. Poussette Dart Band. And the album Amnesia. They got a fair amount of airplay up here in New England. And Amnesia is the song that everybody would know by them. Kind of a country rock. Kind of like a Poco, Pure Prairie League. Amnesia kind of has that same kind of feeling, like maybe like Two-Lane Highway by Pure Prairie League. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's great stuff too. I'm looking for that album. I'm digressing, I know. Robert Palmer. I kind of have a hard time with like his Power Station stuff. I know a lot of you who grew up in the 80s really digs that stuff, but I like this stuff a little more. The soulful kind of side of the late Robert Palmer. Not that the Power Station stuff isn't good, it's just I would rather listen to that. Okay. Kenny Rogers and the first edition, and all you see is that shine. Oh well, I'm sorry. Their greatest hits, and not a bad record, an original pressing of it. Just checked in to see what condition my condition was in. Actually, just played that on my radio show today. This one, I don't know how many copies of this I have. I don't know why I keep buying this, but this is an original pressing too of Styx 2. This is an original on wood nickel. As you can tell, it's on wood nickel. But again, the cover is questionable. It's really got some major ring wear going. Vinyl is, I haven't played it yet. It looks like it should play fine, but that was the only wooden nickel era record, I believe, that I didn't have an actual wooden nickel pressing of. So, just a few more, kids. Hold your breath. It's okay. I'm almost done. Steve Winwood, Talking Back to the Night. Came out after Ark of the Diver. Has that same kind of feel, I think, as Ark of the Diver. Has the hit Valerie. I really like that song. I think it's a nice synth-driven early 80s, mid-80s, early 80s pop song. That's what you got on this one. Steve Winwood. Staying with Steve Winwood. I always thought this was his first record, but apparently there's an album before this called Go, I think it was called. I don't know. I'm gonna check. I know that's what I saw on Discogs anyway, so I'm gonna hunt that one down too because I'm in kind of in a Steve Winwood kind of mood. I got those for $1, so why not? And last one, got this one for $1 too. This is when Steve became a superstar all by himself, and now I need to get, like I said, I need to get the first album, Go, I believe it's called, and roll with it on vinyl. And that'll pretty much do it, I think, for my Steve Winwood. Speaking of pretty much doing it, that pretty much does it for my vinyl finds. Everybody say it together. Thank God. No, I really do appreciate it. I'm, trying to ease the pain of these long videos, but I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart that you guys watch these things. Please feel free to leave a comment or whatever feedback down below there, right down there. And again, thank you so much for subscribing, taking the time. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.